exciting for me because I actually got asked. I didn't even have to ask myself, and I love it. But I get to go and ride and take a lap around this awesome hot rod behind me that Tim has built from the ground up himself. So we're going to ask you some questions. Well, you can just tell me all about it, you know, how it began, how it started, and what was the big question I have is, you just started with a frame. What frame did you use?
A friend of mine, Brian Burkhoff from Muscatine, he's the one that built the frame.
He built the frame. And then once you had your frame, you took it from there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go in, let's get this started. No idea how I'm going to get in this, but...
You'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out. I'm going to duck.
Perfect.
Okay. Wow. This is so cool. And a lot of people wonder about these hot rods being so low is, how do you see the front? Well, let me show you the view. You can't really see the front. I mean, unless you want to sit up here and get a sore back, but who wants to do that? So in these ones, you just got to chill back and use all your senses, and hopefully you won't hit anybody. Now what's happening here? What do you do to turn this thing on?
Well, I got to take the steering wheel off to get in.
Is that what it was? I was wondering what you were doing. So you took the steering wheel off in order to get in. And the engine, what's the engine in front of us?
It's a 505 cubic inch blown tall deck Chevy.
That's a big block.
Making 1,000 horsepower, and yes, it's a big block.
1,000 horsepower, amazing. And I love your handbrake.
Yeah. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here you go.
Let's go. So it's getting lifted off the ground, and you've got air for that?
Nope, that's fuel pump.
Fuel pump. That's lifting it up?
No.
still ringing a little bit and my heart's still pounding, but you know what? That was an absolute brilliant experience. Absolutely loves it. I hope you enjoyed that footage. A true hot rod. I don't even know if you guys heard me over the motor when I was speaking, but it's just brilliant. It's just brilliant. And that is a very big block, 1,000 horsepower, and obviously we're here at the event and we can't, but like I told Tim, if we had a drag strip in front of us, it just wanted to roar. The machine wanted to roar. It really did, didn't it? It just wanted to take off.
Yes, it did.
And if 1,000 horsepower isn't enough to get the job done, you've got another 250 horsepower nitrous bottle set here to inject into that blower.
Hold on.
1250.
Okay, so it's got 1,000 horsepower with the motor. Now come and explain to me again.
This is a 250 shot of nitrous oxide to inject into the blower. So
You just press a button?
press a button on the shifter,
Yeah.
and that's 1,250 horse instantly.
The hot rod of the future.
It's been around a while.
It's been around, but
And the name of it, after I brought the motor home, my wife said, "You're going to name this car the Widowmaker." And then she asked if I had my insurance paid up.
And that was what, because of all the speed and the engine, or because he can't see when he's driving?
Speed and engine. Yes, definitely. Yes.
I mean, it's funny, but for your sake, no.
Yes.
How often does he drive it around?
Every time there's a show, we go for a ride around town, just hanging out, just taking a spin. Anytime that we can. Anytime. Yes.
It's awesome. It's 2 seats, made for you too.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes, it's amazing. Amazing.
Good for you.
Yes.
Good for you. So Tim's built this all himself. He started off with the body and then he put on the motor and everything else he's done himself. Now these tires are very smooth. So I have to ask Tim what's going on here. The tires are so smooth, man. How do these brake? They're so smooth.
They're soft compound drag racing slick.
Okay.
They're meant for grabbing.
What about in the rain or snow?
No, they're no good in the rain.
They're no good in the rain.
These are M&H Racemaster makes a reproduction. These are 1969 Top Fuel dragster slicks. So it's the year 1969. This is what they would have ran under Top Fuel dragsters back then.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
If the 1,000 horsepower is not enough, if the other 250s addition's not enough, the wheels will make it go faster as well.
It'll stick. You get them hot, they get real sticky.
Right.
Yeah. It'll throw rocks and shit on the inside of the car. 'Cause
Okay.
it picks everything up off the road. Once you get them hot,
Yes.
then yeah, they can stick really, really well.
Wow, amazing. And what's this out here?
This is your parachute. So that lever right there on the side.
Yeah.
So at the end of the quarter mile, when you're booking about 150, then you pull that and it pops the parachute.
To slow it down. And how often have you guys done that or used that?
Well, from the looks of it, quite a bit. I don't hold back.
Wow.
And then it's got this is an onboard fire suppression system. It's got nozzles around where if you were to get it upside down, it would catch fire. Then they could come back, somebody can pull this from the outside, or you can do it from the inside yourself. Just
And what
suppress
would
it.
happen? It just it just keeps the fire
Fill up with
contained.
foam. Boom.
Foam.
Instantly.
So it's pretty safe.
Well, since we're celebrating 4th of July with red, white, and blue, I don't know, but some days it is. And then you have the Halon fire extinguisher for the motor or something
Yeah,
happen, you can
I
spray
did
it.
notice that, and I said, I looked at it, it looked like a fire extinguisher, and I said, oh, Tim, so what's this? A fire extinguisher for the motor? Okay. So I know if it catches fire, then I can just, grab it.
There's something very interesting too. This artwork was done by George Sedlak.
Lettered by George
Sedlak is the guy that painted every one of Evel Knievel's motorcycles and helmets. For all the years of Evel Knievel jumping motorcycles, that's the guy that painted it. He's an older fella, and I got a hold of him. He come down to our house, spent a couple days. My wife was out shop with him, and he sat down, hand done all that, hand painted
Wow.
everything. Yeah.
Wow, so all the graphics.
Everything, yes.
Wow,
Then he
beautiful.
aged it to make it look old, because this car was painted 50 years ago in a barn with a paintbrush. So when I chopped it,
I can see it.
did the chop. I cut 8 inches down to lower it, and
Yeah.
then I metal finished it all and then blended it all back in. Yeah.
Amazing. Now, your friends told me there's a funny story here.
Yes. So this was an old bar that was in my hometown, Chetzagogo, and we all went down there one night. That's the only one time I was in there. And
Well, in front of his missus, it's the one and only time he's been there. Anyway, we'll
and there
continue.
was actually a one-legged stripper. She had a wooden leg. She was dancing. So I took somebody's hat and we passed around, filled it with money, and I went up and asked her, "Can we drink beer out of your wooden leg if I give you the money?" She took the money, but we didn't get to drink beer out of her leg.
She didn't just take off her leg and give it to you?
No. But that's a true
Those
story.
strippers.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And this is the class that this car would have raced in back in the day, a long time ago, and it was alcohol, gas, supercharged.
Alcohol, gas, supercharged.
Yeah, because it's got a supercharger on
And it
here.
would have had alcohol mixed
Yes.
in with it as well.
Instead of, I run 110 octane fuel in it now, but they would have ran alcohol back in the day. Yeah. A gas is what it's called.
It's just brilliant. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
If you look, these are all old vintage stick, like 1967, 65 from the old drag races back in the day.
So do you take it to race it over here?
No. We do mostly on the street, I guess. Yeah. So this is a 505 cubic inch tall deck Chevy with a Don Hampton blower, Vertec Magneto. These are Sanderson Zoom exhaust.
So is it the exhaust that gives it that big roar? Yep.
That's this blower surge.
Lower surge.
Every time it turns, yeah, it's forcing air down into that engine. They call it a supercharger. Here in America, we call it a blower. And it just super presses the air that's forcing it down.
And
into
it comes out here.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I was telling Tim. He doesn't have to worry about seeing everybody or who's in his way because
Right, look it out of the way.
they'll get out of the way because visibility can be limited. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Thank you so much, Tim.
You're welcome.
Loved it, and
Thank you for
the
going for a
ride.
ride. It was good.
Thank you for taking me for the ride.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.